Hi everyone, welcome to yet another episode of Happy Hour with CarnaticON. Today we have our first guest from Norway, Patrick Vedlog. Hi Patrick,
Hello, hello. Good
how are you
morning or
today?
good afternoon.
I'm in India at the moment, so good afternoon, yes.
Yeah. Great. I'm doing quite fine. Yeah. How are you?
I'm good, thank you so much for asking. So how are things in Norway in terms of the pandemic and everything? How's the situation there?
Actually, now they're starting to open a little bit up. So we've had a lockdown where we've sort of only had allowed to have two visitors at our homes. Now they open for 10 people. So it's gradually opening the society. So we're hoping for the best, but I'm hearing how it's in India now, and it's shocking. Just yeah, horrible. Uh, but yeah, now it's actually quite sunny outside, so the weather is good, and yeah, nothing but happiness.
Nice. Yeah, that's very good to hear. There's we always look for some good news in all the grimness that's going on here. So,
Yeah,
like you said, India is not in a very good shape at the moment. But we fight back. We always do,
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the spirit. So having said that, so Karnaticon, I'm sure you've heard from the team. They've reached out
Yeah.
to you and briefed you about what we do. But CarnaticON is, it's an initiative where a bunch of technologists from Fortune 500 companies are coming together to collaborate with musicians from India and abroad to build the future of Indian music. Okay,
Mm.
because when you say Indian music, you think Bollywood, and we want to change that.
Yeah.
so
Nice,
so
nice.
I mean, in that regard, Happy Hour is a way for us to get to know as many artists in this industry as possible. So today is your turn to talk about your journey and inspire people watching this.
Yeah.
So how did you get to hear about Indian music and what's been your inspiration and all of that? So we can start with you introducing yourself. So you can talk about your gurus first.
Yeah. So my name is Patrick Vedlog, as you said, you know. I am now I'm 25 years old, and I'm from Norway in Oslo, the capital. And I sort of came about Indian classical music in the way that in the way of the internet, basically. My brother showed me a video clip of Ustad Zakir Hussain and Rakesh Chaurasia, and uh, the 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 whole magic which they created just mesmerized me. So I both me I picked up the Bansuri and he picked up the tablas. So we made this. Sort of where he learned the talas and I learned the ragas. So in that very early period, we were sort of our gurus in a way, brothers, you know, learning from each other. But after I think it was about one to 2 years after I began playing, I met a woman here in Oslo. Her name is Tal Coleman, and she's from Israel, which is staying here in Oslo. And she is the student of Hari Prasad, Pandit Hariji. So she sort of guided me in a yeah 1 year period in the beginning to give me the correct fingering techniques and that sort of thing. Um, and then after a while, she had to do some personal business going back to Israel. So there was some period where I had to uh, go for myself and play and discover sort of my own style because she taught me the Hari way, or um, his way of playing, you know. So I looked into other Bansuri players like Ronu Majumdar, uh, Pandit Rajendra Prasanna, different um, Bansuri players from different Gharanas than just my Har Gharana, which Hariji is from, or which he plays. So that's the way I sort of in that period where I didn't have any to learn from. I uh, I also discovered like the tablas and to because I met up with a tabla player named Tarak Dutta, who lives also close to not far away from my house or from my town. And he and I really got a good connection and started playing together. And he was the first tabla player which I really connected with, and, like except for my brother, of course. But he had been playing since I think he was like 6 or something. He was from India. He lived here for more than 15 years. So he and I performed together for the or he um, for my first performance. He helped me to the stage in a way. So that's the way I got like the boost into really performing and to give a real effort like into the whole art of Indian classical music. Um, and so after we started, I think it was in 2017, I think. So about three years after I began playing. So he and I played for several concerts, but as you know, Corona has come and everything is shut down. So I haven't seen him for probably 6 months or something. So distance keeps us, quite far away now these days. So, but then after or in the period where we were playing, I also went to Rotterdam in 2018 to to um, to meet Hariji himself. There's a here in Oslo. There's a sitar player whose name is Ruhini Sahajpal, and she sort of arranged this meeting where I could join a master class which they had. So I did this sort of leap of faith where I didn't know if I want or if I could meet him or if I could meet him. So I I met him, and it was just this magical, astonishing, like a godly moment in a way when I met him and it was in his presence. But then uh, he gave me his blessings, and I really I'm it's a difficult feeling to explain, but that gave also another really like almost like a punch to the stomach in the way how not serious this is, but how deep it goes and just the feelings you get from it. Um, so that was from Hariji. I learned just all of that just by being in like 5 6 hours with him, uh, and and that yeah. So that was just an amazing moment. And then in just a year later, I visited India for the first time with Tarak. Um, so he showed me his hometown in Kolkata, where I also stayed for I think it was yeah about four weeks. And during one of those weeks, I was learning from a local teacher there named Ashok Kumar Karmakar, and so he also gave me a different taste of uh, Hindustani classical in from his point of view, and also from India herself in a way. So it gives also this greater perspective. Um, and after that, I really haven't been learning from so many others, except from in tabla world. Um, I met with Tarak's guru, whose name is Pandit Nabankur Bhattacharya, who's also a senior disciple of Anindu Chatterjee. So he has been learning or teaching me, and he lives in France, so he takes the trip every now and again, but because of Corona, it stopped. So those are been pretty much been my gurus up in the years, as so far. But you can never get enough, I think. So I'm trying to get,
That's right. So
yeah.
do you continue to learn from any of them?
Yeah, so Nabankur, I learn from pretty regularly. I have a good connection with him. But there's no like because of the distance, from all my teachers, there's really hard to get this one-to-one teaching, and especially also because of like the society has shut down and everything. So getting work has been difficult. So everyone has this uh, sort of crisis period where to get the time also to do practice and to get your talim and that sort of thing. It's very difficult nowadays. But I try to do my best. I work with, or not work with, but I play with a couple of tabla players now and again. Here, not so far, which actually on Sunday, so this it will be the 9th. We are I'm working with a Indian dance group, or not a dance group, but a dance school, to help India now in this time of crisis by having
Interesting. So
yeah.
is
So
this a
we're having a
fundraiser?
yeah, exactly. So we're
Okay.
having a program on I think it will be, yeah, the afternoon or something like that on Sunday. So we will
Okay,
have
so
a
Patrick, do
yeah,
send us the details and we'll put it in the bio for our audience to go check out. Okay, so
yeah,
we'd be happy to promote this fundraiser for you.
yeah, great. That would be
Um,
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, so thank you so much, for sharing your journey with us. I think it's been super interesting how you discovered all these people and then, how why you chose the flute, right? Because tabla is the more popular choice outside of
yeah,
India. But the fact that you chose flute, I think it's kind of unique. It's very different from what most other artists that we meet do.
yeah.
So why the flute, Patrick? Like, what made you pick up the flute versus, say, the violin or any of the rhythmic
Uh,
instruments?
well, it's a difficult question because I think I was like in this sort of delicate part of my life where I finished school, where's this basic like 13 years of graduation or school in Norway. So I finished that, and I sort of was going into work, and I was in this moment. So I think I do not feel that sort of I chose the flute because it sort of just came in a way. I already had sort of experience with drums in my earlier days, and I had been experimenting with like a Chinese flute, which it's called a Dizi. I think that's how you pronounce it, Dizi. It's difficult, but Dizi. Um, so I think that just came naturally, and I think Rakesh Chaurasia just blew my mind. I think that's a pretty safe explanation. Um, but yeah, so you that was also sort of this problem also by choosing Bansuri, because here in Oslo there I've only found Tal who played at that moment, and now she's not teaching here anymore. So now I'm pretty much the only Bansuri player, like sort of in this, who is not a beginner, you could say. I have students here, uh, but none of this like who's been doing it for say more than 5 years, I think. So there's this lack I feel here, but I think it's growing, and that's what I'm working on in a way.
Nice, Patrick. So there are plenty of flautists at CarnaticON, and
Yeah,
they have. I mean, some of them play the Western flute, some of them play the South Indian
yeah,
version, also called Carnatic music. So they play
yeah.
Carnatic on the flute, and I would love to make the introduction, for potential collaborations and things like that. It would be on, wonderful to get you to perform with, say, flautists from other genres, right? That'll
Yeah, yeah,
be
yeah,
that'll be
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah,
Nice. Okay, so what next, Patrick? I mean, now that you've been learning the flute, where do you see this going? Do you want to be a full-time musician? Do you want to be, do you want to be pursuing this more, more seriously? Do you want to travel to places to perform? What's next
Well,
in cards for you?
yeah, so I think definitely I want to pursue it, but I'm not in the way that I feel that this is not that kind of music which should have the the fame or the that shouldn't be the goal. I'm not I'm not aiming to be a top musician. I'm not going to be the next Rakesh, for example. I'm not aiming for that at all. But I'm like when the whole world opens up, I'm sure I was, for example, going to have a gig in Denmark, which is just so I'm not been playing outside of Norway as of yet, except a little bit like in a home in India. But but uh, but uh, but I think I'm not sure really. It's just so uncertain at this time. Yeah, so we'll see.
It's okay, just go with the flow. When you
Yeah,
take
yeah,
the
yeah.
pressure off, I think that is when you really start to enjoy the learning
Yeah,
process,
yeah, and
right?
that's one
So
of the things which I feel which is sort of dangerous by having this as a profession that you that sort of that you have to be creative, that you have to push or force the creative side of you, which sort of I think is destructive to your music and your uh, you could also say spiritual way. But you know, everyone has their cup of coffee, you know.
right. I mean, yeah, there are some, over ambitious people, who want to perform abroad, and they want to do, but that's also a recognition for the hard work that they put in, right? So it's
Yeah, yeah,
been,
yeah.
say, 15, 20 years of learning. Now they are ready to show to the world what they've learned, and, they are okay to kind of admit that, they are looking for opportunities, right? So
Yeah.
that's another way of looking at it. But wonderful,
Of course, yeah,
Patrick.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so it's been now, so in summary, like how long have you been learning? How many years you would say you've
Yeah.
been learning the flute for?
As of now, I would call myself a beginner, you know, even though I have some students, but I've been learning since 2014, so about 7 years. So I think,
7 years.
you know, it's only when you're like done with the first 15, 20, then I think you really understand the music. So I'm still in the early like seed, you know. So
Yeah, that's you.
I'm not trying to step on somebody's toes. I'm trying to stay as humble as I can, you know.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome. So I know that you've also joined us as an instructor. So I'm sure, a lot of
Yeah,
people will derive value from, learning from you, right? So I think it's the attitude that matters. And one thing that
yeah,
we are very, one thing we very strongly believe in is the cultural fit. It's important for people to be on the same page as, the students that they teach, right? Because sometimes there is a disconnect. Like we spoke to one of the artists and they said, students, they come to us with a plan. They say, okay, in 5 years I want to do this, in 10 years I want to do this, in 15 years I want to do this.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And they are so set in their career goals and everything that it
yeah,
becomes a little bit tricky. At that point, then you're just following a process, and you just want to get them there because that's what they
yeah,
want. But I think it's good to meet people like you, instructors like you, who kind of inspire them to learn, not just put them on the track of where they want to go, but also I think genuinely inspire them to learn. That's important.
yeah. Because I think I have this sort of idea about you have the sort of this academic way of learning, and then you have the you could say
The fun way of learning.
the organic, you could say,
Yeah.
like this academic that you have this set plan as you talk of, you have this goal and stepping stones every way. Uh, that you learn like saregama padanisa, you know, and you learn to sing all the notes or whatever how you do it. But and then you have the like that. Of course, that's a reasonable way of doing it. It's like it's no problem if you want to do it. Like go ahead. But I think it's much better to do it more organically. That you rather than that you, for example, learn the aroha and avaroha of a raga, you listen to it, for example, that you just feel it. And like I always explain to my student that I feel that a raga as a person, as a somebody to get to know, or a somebody to respect, and somebody to who has characteristics and has their way of walking, you could say, you know. So so you don't really learn so much about a person just by saying, hello, my name is blah blah blah, and this is the clothes I wear, you know, in a way. So there's so much more deeper to it. So just like bathing in it as it were an ocean. There's just the depth is so deep.
Yeah,
So
the passion is coming through, Patrick. We see it. Amazing. Okay,
yeah,
so as as technologists, one question we have for all of our artists is, what is it that we can do to help? Because I mean, for some, it's been challenging. The pandemic has been extremely challenging financially and emotionally
yeah,
because all their concerts were canceled. And then they started to teach, right? They started to take on more students as an alternate, source of income.
yeah.
What how can we help as technologists? Do you see an area where you are particularly struggling with and you think technology can help?
Um, I think maybe it depends because now there's this like right when like in March or somewhere around last year, you saw this boom of online concerts and this home concerts and that sort of thing. And for most people to get the quality was difficult, you know. So they usually do it with some sort of home setup or something like that. And even I work with I tried this this iPad app, I think it was, yeah, which did this live streaming, which where you could connect up a audio interface, like it's called an audio card, something like that. Yeah. Anyhow, you could connect up the microphones and everything, so you can do it all from your iPad instead of you having this big computer or everything. So just this maybe I don't know way of getting that simple technology out there to people. I'm not sure. Maybe this is just ambitious, but I'm not. Uh, but this technology and the quality, uh, like that, you could also say, for example, with there's a abundance of tempura apps, for example, but there are some very, very, very plain and easy ones. But then you have some which do tabla very good, and then
Yes,
you
the
have
really complicated ones with the metronome and everything else, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
there is an over availability of tanpura apps, and I don't know why.
Yeah, and there's always this like MP3 recording of a tempura or something like that. So just having the quality really, I think, improves the feeling that you especially get from your practice or whatever concerts. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that's some ideas.
Yeah, well, we're always open to ideas, and if you do come up with any other ideas, do text us because
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
we're constantly on the lookout for what's next.
yeah,
Because,
yeah,
when we started out, we were just connecting students with teachers because there was a problem of accessibility. Now, for example,
yeah,
students, when they are looking for teachers, they only look for, say, they go to Google search and they say, okay, teachers near me,
yeah, yeah,
and there's only a certain radius that it covers, right? You can only look for teachers, like, say, within like 5 miles, 10
yeah,
miles.
yeah,
And that is a huge limitation because now with the pandemic you can pretty much learn from anyone in the world. You don't have to
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah,
restricted to people around you,
yeah.
right? So that is what we started with solving. We started connecting teachers to students,
Mm,
and then I think it evolved. Now we have a lot of artists who are looking for concerts, live shows,
yeah,
opportunities, and all of that. So that's the next thing we've started to do. And yeah, it just evolves. Now it's just become like an entire full bloom ecosystem where we are supporting artists
yeah.
with as many solutions as possible through technology.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, because that is also one thing which I've struggled with here to find my students or to find people because I know there are people interested. I've heard about like I know people who know people that I've heard things about, but they there's this, this outreach is not there. There something there, and there's something here, but the way of crossing the bridge is impossible in a way. So I think that's what I think is wonderful about CarnaticON is
Oh yeah, on that note, Patrick, we've been speaking for a while now. We'd love for you to bring out the flute and play something for us.
yeah, sure, sure. So I'm not planning my performances, so I don't have any ragas planned, but just give me a moment. Do you have any favorite raga?
My favorite is always Shankarabaranam,
Oh, that's a
but
Carnatic one.
that's a Carnatic one.
Yeah, I'm not so. I know a few
Yes.
Carnatic ones. Yeah.
I
Um.
mean, you can play whatever you've been working on, something you've been practicing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll play. Rag Vajaspati.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's also a Carnatic one.
that is a Carnatic one,
Yeah.
but it's been adopted quite recently into by Hariji, for example, into Hindustan. So I'll just play a short alap. Um, can you hear the tampura?
It's a little bit feeble.
Okay, okay. Let's see. I think it should be there now.
Yeah.
A little bit. Okay. As long as you hear the sound from the flute.
So beautiful, Patrick. Really, really
Thank you so much.
gorgeous.
Thank you
And
so
you
much,
know,
Archana.
all that passion, and I see how you're completely engrossed in it. You're just, it's very hard to explain when people, perform without expecting anything in return. I think that is when it sounds the most beautiful.
Mm, thank you so much. Thank you
So
so much.
thank you so much for performing for us today. And you know what? So, what is the one thing that comes to your mind when, about this ragam? You know how every ragam is associated with
Uh-huh.
like a feeling or a mood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What is the one mood that, that you would associate this ragam with?
Uh-huh. So Vajaspati for me is a very uh like free raga in a way. Uh, it sort of reminds me of a bird in a way, but a very cute bird in a way. But I'm not sure. It's a very difficult thing to say, but yeah, it gives this feeling of freedom
Yeah.
and especially um this is a sort of it's a very close raga to, for example, Yaman, Rag Yaman. So the
Yeah.
only, pretty much the only difference there are, or like the simple difference is that Vajraspati uses Komalni instead of Shuddhani, but it uses the many similar phrases with the Tivrama here. So this, for example, phrase with this pamaga is very sensitive, and
Hmm.
many ragas which uses this note tivrama is very close to my heart, and I've heard, I don't remember where I heard the explanation, but it is said that many ragas who uses tivrama is played in the afternoon where the sun is at its highest, so it's supposed to represent the sun in a way. There are many theories, but so that's one of them.
So that is very beautiful. Actually, when you say bird, even I was thinking of like a river, just like water
Yeah,
flowing. And I was
chirping.
thinking of, yeah, something like that, like
Yeah,
it's very, somehow it reminded me of nature. So yeah, I think
yeah.
it just does it. These ragas, they just do that to people. I don't know how they're able to get you from like one mood to another mood so easily.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool, Patrick. So it's been wonderful speaking with you, and we look forward to, bringing you on for more workshops or, more master classes, so
Yeah,
many
yeah.
collaborations, and there's a lot in store for you, and thank you so much for joining us. And any last words for our audience, any upcoming projects or anything that you want to highlight?
I just want to thank you, Arjana, and the whole CarnaticON team for making this happen. And no, I just want to maybe as I mentioned earlier on about the Hope and Help or Help and Hope fundraiser, which we're doing on this Sunday. So I'll give you the details. So maybe you'll just like put it in the description or something. Um, so yeah, this Sunday for the help of India. So please come. And yeah, thank you so much for this whole interview. And yeah, can't wait to do anything or do more. Yeah.
Absolutely. Likewise. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you today, Patrick. And for all of you watching, do tune in next week for another artist. Thank you, Patrick. Take care. Bye.
Bye.